Computer. We're live.
Good sunny Sunday morning, almost afternoon. My name is Moni Pearson, also known as La Doodlebug. You can find me at La Doodlebug on Facebook, IG. My show, The World Sucks, was previously a radio show, will air on YouTube in the coming weeks. Was supposed to be on by now, but COVID, and I have the pleasure of speaking to three very hardworking gentlemen based out of the DMV. We have the marketing director of the Coalition DJs, Mr. Eugene Smith.
Hello.
Marketing director of the Coalition DJs DMV,
Correct.
Mr. Smith, DJ Bigg Sipp, and the artist 7 p.m., aka Logan H. James. So I have the marketing director, DJ, artist, all three on the line with me. How are you gentlemen doing? First and foremost, thank you for taking some time to speak with me.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
How you doing?
Good morning.
Over there. We'll get started. Let's see. Mr. Smith, Mr. Eugene, how can you tell me about the Coalition DJs and what role they play in Black music?
Well, about 12 years ago, a group of DJs down in Atlanta got together, and they formed a coalition, and they started playing artist tracks inside nightclubs in the Atlanta area. And their bond was so tight that they made the group larger and larger, and before you know it, they were able to play the artist music in the clubs and affect the charts on the radio spin. So 12 years later, they've got chapters in different areas, different regions, and the DMV is the most diverse chapter because it includes 3 different markets: DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And I do the marketing for that with the CEO, Sleep Don't Reach, Streets A&R. Him and I, we operate New Music Wednesdays, which is where artists from all over submit their music, and our DJs, some of the best DJs in the area from Baltimore to Richmond, listen and give feedback so artists can get their music played on the radio. Every time our DJs spin, the Coalition DJs is unique because every time they spin an artist's record, it counts just like a radio play. So it counts for BDS and Billboard spins and everything else. So it's pretty powerful to make an artist career start. That starts right here. It's called breaking a record. That's what Coalition DJs do.
Word. That's really dope. So tell me, have you seen changes since everything's been going on in the political awareness level, since the protests and all the things began really strong following the murder of George Floyd?
Yeah, I think that it's been obvious. I mean, Sipp can back me up on this, but what's going on? What's going on is when it looks like people are submitting songs. Normally, what we've been getting for the last 2 years is a lot of what you hear on the underground scene. But what's been happening lately with us is we've been hearing a lot of conscious and positive submissions, and we've had some submissions lately with no curse words in it, these are all positive changes and indicators that I see. And we're on the grassroots level. We're where the artist starts. Like all the artists that the kids are listening to in their headphones start with our DJs. I think Sipp could back me up on what he's been hearing. What you've been on the calls, you've been on the virtual New Music Wednesday, Sipp.
Yeah, I also agree. Just as recently as last week, this past meeting we had, we had quite a few conscious, what you consider conscious submission submitted to us. So the music industry as a whole has become more aware and is putting out more conscious, more family friendly music with more meaning, for better choice of words.
Word. Word. So tell me this, DJ Bigg, has it been easier to diversify your message since the has shut down? To do like broadcast? Have you?
I'm sorry. You were breaking up again. Can you ask that question again? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Has it been easier to like diversify your mix since the club has been shut down due to the quarantine and everything? Like, have you felt more empowered to play things relevant to the time?
it has been easier to diversify my mixing and online things of that nature due to the pandemic. Me coming from not more of a club background. That's just one of the type of venues I play at. It has been easier to diversify because people want some type of hope. You know, people want to feel good, something that has been distracting them and getting their mind off of what they've been going on. So they've been wanting to hear more feel good, more throwbacks, just that type of thing. And it has opened up the avenues for me to play, different music, with a different message, with a broader message. So the pandemic and everything that's going on has definitely affected, the way we're able to play.
I feel you on that. Like, how has the quarantine affected you creatively, personally?
Creatively, it's hard mentally. We're dealing with a lot, especially as a Black man. It's hard to you have to kind of be the strong one for, maybe millions of people to to mess with you. So it's me personally, it's affected me just self-esteem wise, and because there's a lot to deal with. You just don't know, and the act of not knowing is really, really, it messes with your creative process. But sometimes we just have to suck it up, provide a service for everybody else, try to uplift their spirits and get their mind off everything.
Word. I hear that. So my final question to you is, do you think that everything that has happened will affect how club culture is? Do you think it will have any type of drastic effect?
Maybe 6 months into a year, then hopefully, not hopefully, because I feel like the change is for the better. Like, people are tired. So, hopefully moving forward, we can get back to the sense of, partying and not, just actually coming together to celebrate and have a good time, not just, be seen. I hope it changes for that instead of, it becoming a social media show. People actually, come and enjoy each other's company and, let their hair down and, kind of rejoice, you know what I'm saying? So I hope it affects it in that way.
Right.
But from 6 months, I think, now for 6 months, I think the last thing on people's mind is the clubs, honestly. It's so much going on. So,
Word. Well, I appreciate that. I wanted to talk to you, Mr. Logan James, 7 p.m. I want to make sure I address you correctly. I actually saw you out there protesting in Baltimore on your IG, and you did a song tribute recently for our dearly departed Tony Reds, RP to the homie. What message do you want your listeners and fans to receive based on the things you've been doing since the quarantine, and how that hasn't slowed down the killer cops? Like, what do you want people to get from your art right now?
So first, thanks for the opportunity to you both. But I want to clear up something. The video that you see me, I was not out there to protest. I was there to protect the protesters, for them to have their own voice. I don't fully agree with everything, but one thing about me is if we're gonna have unity, it means I have to allow my brother to have his chance to speak the same way that I would want my right to be able to speak as well. So a group of us went down to make sure that there was no looting. There was no one that was going to use the name of the protest in a light that was not intended for. You don't see me saying Black Lives Matter because I understand that Black lives do not own Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter funds organizations that continue to assist with the creating and the taking of lives of Black men and women on a daily basis. I feel like a lot of people are using just social media as their basis for research, and they're not really diving deeper into actually what's going on. I think that right now is transitioning from being a trend to, I always tell people that, I always hear people saying that knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Just because you know information, it does not help you in any way, shape, or form if you do not use the information that you have. So if we understand that there's been an issue, one thing that I want my followers and the people with me to understand is that if we create our own systems, and I say system, I mean everything from the governmental system that we are protected, quote unquote, protected by, we have the right in this country to establish our own. But deeper than just being in this country, because the United States is a part of a much larger community, which is North America. So the indigenous members, women and children of the land of North America has given us the right to govern ourselves on this land. So, as I want people to do more research into that, learning about how you can actually make yourself free, and being free.
That's dope. And I think it's very, very helpful that you spoke on Black Lives Matter, and so people can do more research about what's actually happening behind the scenes.
People should Google George Soros.
Yes. I just wrote his name down last week to do more research. Absolutely. And I appreciate you saying that. Now you, going back to something you said about going to the protesting to kind of almost do quality control. That's what it sounded like you were saying or whatever. Do you feel like the creative community has a responsibility in these times? And what do you feel that responsibility is from your own perspective? I feel like you somewhat answered that, but I just want to get it clear.
I feel like every man in America that is Black has a responsibility to hold himself and those around him accountable for the actions and the words that they use. And I feel like there's a lack of accountability in our community that allows us to do and portray ourselves in certain ways. We have allowed ourselves to portray ourselves as monkeys because of, quote unquote, this is where we're from and this is what we're used to. And we have allowed ourselves to lose the sight of the fact that we were once kings, queens. Even if you were not a king or queen, or you come from that royalty, you have the right to express yourself in that way, shape, or form, being in, quote unquote, America. So I believe that all artists should use their voice. I believe that it's deeper than just a voice, though. I believe that we need to start doing business. I believe that we need our own economic structure. I believe that we need to bring our own resources together and start unifying our resources to start seeing who we are and what we bring to the table when it comes to trade.
Absolutely. That was a wonderful answer. Are you working on anything currently that we can look forward to seeing, hearing?
Yeah.
What's going on right now?
So I'm in the studio working on a lot of music. Shout out to my guys, Renaissance Marketing. They are like definitely, we have some billboards coming. We have a lot of music coming. And we're just working, I got the movie on Netflix coming as well. Got a movie on Netflix. Shout out to DR Perry. It's called Catching the Body. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming,
That's super dope. Congratulations on the Netflix flick coming up. So, we can only hope that tragedies like what happened to George Floyd can mobilize the Black youth to make positive changes. And from what you guys say, you were hearing from what you guys are talking about, it's already starting. I definitely think the revolution may be televised, but we got a lot of work to do. And I think part of that work is educating our people. Because
don't forget Rayshard Brooks.
Yeah, you said Rayshard Brooks.
Rayshard Brooks was murdered 2 days ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's not forget they say his name as well.
Exactly. We are in a very uphill battle, but I appreciate you gentlemen talking to me. Again, my name is Moni Pearson, aka La Doodlebug, and yeah, I look forward to seeing great things from you gentlemen in the upcoming months and years.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for
Thank
having
you
me.
so much.